If you want to see what congressional Democrats wish to do to America, just look at the result of yesterday's election in New York, where their party installed a communist as the mayor of the largest city in the nation. As I've warned for many years, our opponents are hell-bent on turning America into a communist Cuba or socialist Venezuela, and you see what happened to those places.
There's no longer any doubt about the left's embrace of socialism. Zohran Mamdani will be sworn in as mayor of America's largest city and is doubling down on his radical agenda, despite businesses and parents looking to move their companies and families out of the Big Apple as fast as they can. But is it really a surprise that the far-left progressives have finally taken their place at the helm of the party? Even Nancy Pelosi is getting out of Dodge, a final change of the guard. So what does it all mean for 2026 and the Republicans mounting their midterm battle? Let's ask Ohio gubernatorial candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, got to ask you about this. I mean, we knew the likelihood of a Mamdani win in New York City, but now that it's official, does it shock you? Does it feel like an entire city has forgotten the lessons of history?
Well, look, of course, New York City used to be a great American city that was the embodiment of capitalism, of success, of ambition. So it is shocking. It should shock us when you take a big step back to see a self-described socialist now leading that city. Lara, President Trump has done his part, secure the border. He's done his part in securing international peace. But now it's up to state and local leaders as well to focus on domestic economics. Because as bad as his solutions are, Mamdani's solutions are, he was still pointing to a problem that's affecting a lot of Americans. That's the problem of affordability. And the irony is we in the Republican Party have the right answers. Increase the supply of housing, of energy, of electricity. And yet we need to be focused more on that issue more than anything else, I think, heading into 2026. And if we do that, I think that that will be a nice warning call this last week's election to help us wake up and deliver big victories again in 26.
Well, that is definitely the hope. And hopefully it was a wake-up call for a lot of people. I think it is shocking, though, to see that this Vivek seems like the future of the Democrat Party. I mean, maybe we should take a quick moment of silence for Nancy Pelosi. She announced her retirement. She's been in politics, Vivek, probably longer than you and I have even been alive and on this planet. But she's leaving. And does that signify to you a bit of a changing of the guard? Is this now her passing the baton on to the next generation of leaders who look like the AOCs and the Mamdanis of the world?
Look, you're seeing that at multiple levels. You saw Nancy Pelosi obviously retiring this week, but you also look at Mamdani defeating Cuomo in the Democrat Party's primary. That is the well-connected, backslapping politician of yesterday. That era has passed. Now, I think for America, it's actually a good thing, especially for moving on from this gerontocracy. But the real answer is we as Republicans have to offer our own alternative vision to what this new youthful socialist wing of the Democrat Party stands for. I think we have youthful energy on our own side, but the more we're talking about reviving that American dream for young people, so many young people on both sides of the aisle feel like home ownership is just a little bit out of reach. They work hard, but they're not quite getting ahead in the economy. We've got the solutions, and we're delivering them. President Trump is delivering them. But we have to make that now the top focus after having solved the border crisis, after having secured international peace. This is the next frontier, and I'm confident we're going to nail it. The problem is, otherwise, amongst young people, socialism is now more popular than capitalism. It was the youth vote that propelled Mamdani in that election. That youth vote wasn't going for Pelosi, so she's retiring, she's off the scene. They weren't going for the Cuomo era. But they're going to go for these new democratic socialists unless we offer that alternative vision, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, we have to offer an alternative vision. And we're a year out, Vivek, from you being on the ballot in Ohio, from a big midterm election coming up. So what is your advice to Republicans? What is your advice for ensuring that these midterms go the way that we want to see them go so that we can continue to make America great again?
Excellent. So we have to focus on our vision of the American dream, bring down costs, and make the American dream more affordable. Bring down the cost of housing, build more homes. Bring down those electric bills, produce more energy. Bring down the crazy healthcare costs. Bring down the cost of living in this country. And if we're able to do that while growing the economy, not with socialist solutions like freezing the rent or controlling grocery stores, but through true pro-capitalist solutions, Capitalism is the best system known to the history of man to lift people up from poverty. We're going to be successful. And I know that American dream exists, Lara, just like you. I've lived it, right? My parents came to this country half a century ago with nothing. And in a single generation to found successful companies, now potentially lead that very state of Ohio where I was born and raised. That story is normal in the United States of America. We need to celebrate that, grow our coalition, and I think we're going to do it. I think, yes, last week in New York is a little bit of a shot in the arm from time to time, a good thing. I think it is. A little bit of hardship, a little bit of bumps along the way. That's not victimhood. That's what helps us discover who we are. And I'm confident we're going to be in a strong position if we focus on the economy, particularly affordability heading into 26. That's my advice for Republicans.
Well, you know what, Vivek, we're looking to you. You are one of the great leaders in this party. You're the next generation of leadership in this party. And as we're heading into next year, obviously you're going to make a pitch in Ohio there. So what are your goals there in Ohio?
So the goal is, number one, put more money in people's pockets. Property taxes are way too high. Many people are paying more in property taxes than the principal and interest repayments on their mortgage. We're bringing that down, but doing that while also improving the quality of educational achievement. And for parents across this state, Lara, that's a big deal. Right now, the average student in the United States is performing 4 academic years behind the average student in many parts of China. That doesn't work for us. And so we're going to improve academic standards in our public schools while also bringing down government overgrowth and bringing down the property taxes and income taxes that go along with that. So we're putting more money in your pocket, growing the economy, bringing higher paying jobs, and filling those jobs with people who are coming out with K through 12 education that's actually of a quality that allows them to either join the workforce or get a great education afterwards. That's my focus, economy and education. People are ready for it. And I hope you've done such a great job. You know, I know you're in Florida. Florida's done a great job. Texas has done a great job. Tennessee's done such a great job of setting national examples. Hopefully, starting in about a year, Ohio will be the state that then paves the way to the next chapter of American greatness.
Well, be careful, Vivek, because you could have a lot of people, a lot of liberals leaving New York City trying to come for Ohio next. So watch what you wish for. But you are the best. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate you joining us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.